Just waiting for Mr. Carlos to come, and then we'll kick it. Just some of the finalist songs from our previous DEGA content creation contest. This is called DEGA Explorers. The next song is called Rega Dega, and I love it. I think it's a really cool song. Let's check it out. Rega Dega. I should put some lyrics on this. Yeah, man. This is Rega Dega. The next song, I think C-Straight already heard it, but it's called A Dream of DEGA. I Dream of DEGA. I also really like this song. I actually like all the finalist songs, so let's go with this one. This one's really trippy. This is a really cool song, by the way. Really, really, really cool song. Cool song. This was made by Corny G, and he won. He won the contest with that one. And I think all three are really awesome. I wish we could give like all the winners like the prize, but the community chose, and Courtney G's I Dream of Dega song won. So I think that's the official song right now. The other ones, I'm going to keep on using them. But that's what happens with the creative content. That's what it is all about, is to find our path together, our creative path. We have all different voices, all different approaches. So one of the things right now is inviting you all to be part of this DEGA content creation contest. Right now the one we have ongoing is we will pick the finalists next Friday, but that one is a written content. We want to read your stories about DEGA, and we want you to dream up with them, to go crazy with them, and also explain in a metaphorical way what your vision of DEGA is, what DEGA is doing. How do you picture this? Is this like a multiversal kind of trip, or you imagine it like a role-playing game, or you imagine it just like a story on the street? So we're going streetwise. So these are chances for you and for everyone to prove on your creative self. So those were the three songs that made it into the final in our latest contest. And the last one you heard, I Dream of Dega, was Courtney G's winning song. So that was it. I want to say hi to someone really special.
And the RabbitKing appeared.
Yes,
he
he
gave
appeared.
His commands to the troop.
Yeah, he is here. The rabbit is here. My friend, I know you're driving, so just hop in whenever.
I'm not driving yet. I'm going to be driving in about 10 minutes. So school is starting here in the United States and California soon. So I have to take my son to his orientation, and drop him off at the train station. So everyone, and just to let you know, Carlos is also traveling today. So he is not available to be able to be on this Spaces today. But in lieu of that, we do have other things that we can talk about.
I think the most important things to talk about today was a team day, and the topic was talk about the team, a little bit about the people we have in the team, what the culture in our team is, and our beliefs. So I think you're even better to talk about that.
No,
I think you're the right one.
Sure.
So
just the problem is, of course, I'm going to have to go on mute a little bit and jump in the car and
yeah, don't worry.
Drive for about 10 minutes, and then I can come back. But to kick it off, I mean, everybody on our team has some experience in blockchain. I myself, during I've been consulting and discussing decentralized systems and decentralized economies and all that, organizational design and all those types of things before Bitcoin even existed. So it's like I'm very, very well versed in the science behind community building and the science, the managerial science behind constructing organizations that behave in a much more decentralized way. And that's part of what I do. In that also, I come from an analytics and a artificial intelligence background. So when you take those two things and put them together, it's actually a pretty powerful mix. You get we've got Richie on the call. Richie, all of his background is deep. He came from uh, uh, he came from from the network world. So it's like those types of protocols are already, TCP and like all those protocols are already kind of like decentralized. So it's like, coming from a network world, it's easy to kind of make to make the leap and understand the difficulties between centralization and decentralization and where they, kind of like where those things fit. But he's also a great community and marketing guy. So you take those two things and put them together, it's an amazing thing. We got you, Freak, the artist. It's like you've done NFT projects. You've been working with all of where our art comes from, everything like that, and on the creative side, So with your background, and you're personable, and you have like TV, like you've been on the radio, you've done TV stuff. So it's like having you kind of like as the kind of like as the community front man is easy to do. So you take all, and then of course, Carlos, everyone on this call has probably heard him introduce himself, 10, 15 times with whatever Twitter space we go into or anything like that. He kind of like comes from he's cut from the same cloth as I am. He got his start like I did in large organizations. So, one thing I didn't mention about myself is, I come from a media background. So it's like all of my any kind of operations that I've done has always been with
That's
media
where we
firms.
connect, bro.
And that's where you and I connect. So it's like, I'm used to working with so many different types of people. And Carlos made the leap from working with large banks um, on the technology side, and he made his leap from that into having his own blockchain firm, where he built everything from L1s to side chains to everything, and then he leaped into the IOHK and got really embedded with the Cardano community. But all the time, it's like he though he was at IOHK, it's like, yeah, he got to start working with like Ethereum and Bitcoin and like all those types of things. So it's like he's not just a Cardano guy. He understands like all of the chains. So it's like when he looks at something, he doesn't have to learn it from the bottom up. He's like, oh, they're just doing it differently this way. So it actually makes, it's a good fit for doing something like we're doing at DEGA. Culturally, the way our organization typically works is we are a decentralized team. We're an online team. We do get together when we can. Carlos and I will be attending the Evo. I can't remember the name of the thing coming up. There's something in Denver coming up. And I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. I'm trying to get all this out before I actually have to jump in my car. But we do get together when we can, and but most, we use when you're dealing with a team like this, it's like, we have all types of tools that we use to keep each other in sync. We have tons of team meetings just to make sure everybody's aligned on what we're doing. So we try and be highly communicative. When you look at our values, we always talk about, do things, but do them smartly. Always have a reason for why you're doing something. So you'll see in like all of our communications, like I do a lot of the copy for partnerships. It's like whenever you see a partnership announcement come out from me, there's always a reason why. It's like, it's not just, hey, we're partnering with cornucopias. It's like, we are partnering with cornucopias because of this reason. How is it going to help them? How is it going to help us? And how is it going to help you as our community members? It's like we always try and make sure that anything we do has a reason behind it. Because if you don't know why you're doing something, why do it? You look at the kind of like a cultural malaise that's going on right now with people quiet quitting and all that kind of stuff. Well, a lot of people are sick of making other people money for no reason. It's just, I don't even know why I'm here. A lot of people are saying, I don't even know why I'm here. anymore. So we try and change that here at DEGA. We always want to make sure you know why you're here. If you don't know why you're here, then always speak up. You know, because you know, you as a community member, everybody has a point of view on how things need to go. So if you don't understand something, we always try and start with the meaning and the value of what we're doing. So you know, there's a lot more I could go into. Freak, I don't know if you want to pick it up from there, but I actually have to. I'll stay on and listen. Richie, I know you can help out a little bit here too.
He just jumped in.
Okay, good. Because I gotta actually grab my son and jump in the car. So I'll be listening. But, and
Go ahead.
I'll be back to speak in about 15 minutes with a little bit more calm.
Yeah, before we jump into the Freaky Friday Discord event. So.
Oh yeah, Freaky Friday day. So yeah, all right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go on mute, and you can go on and take it from there.
Okay, perfect. Now we got the Richie here in the house. So what up, Richie? How you doing?
Hey, how is it going? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly, my friend.
Yeah, all good.
I need to put some music for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead. The intro.
I'm gonna like something like dramatic. Your entrance now. We got the Richie in the house. The man from Costa Rica, but the man from all of the universe. Yeah, something like that, bro.
Thanks a lot. Hey, hello everybody. So yeah, thanks for inviting me. I mean, we're talking today about the people that are contributing here. There's also great people from the community that are starting to contribute. And I think it would be also great to name those. For example, we have new mods, right? I think Sheridan was online here. He left.
Yeah. He came in and and then he got out. He said he's gonna take 20 minutes. He has to do something. So
no, it's fine. But just to mention him, you know, and we have new mods on Telegram and in Discord. And in general, anybody that is interested in starting to contribute, they can talk with them and to start also help moderating. We also like we have Sheridan, Zeke, and Kev. I don't know how to pronounce his full name though.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's Kev. It's Kev. Just Kev.
It's Kev. Yeah, you can find them in Discord. They're moderating our Discord, and also we have Joey, who is moderating Telegram. You can find him on Telegram. So these are the main places where discussion happens, right? But also to reach out to people in a more massive way and to keep everybody updated, we have Twitter, or not Twitter, X, right? I'm not used to that yet. But well, we have X, and there we have, yeah, and there we have Stardust, who is helping us manage that. And these are people that came from the community, which is, I think, is great testament to how active and how engaging the project is getting. Right, when it's get really healthy, a community start producing or finding these people that can jump from just being a part of the community to actually being a contributor, moderator, you know, being an actively involved with it. What do you think about it? Go ahead. You raise your hand. I'm taking over the show.
Nah, don't worry. Go ahead. I need to spare my voice for the Freaky Friday. I yell a lot. So, but no, one of the coolest things is that, like Milendro, if you've seen our videos, our creative side, our intros, and the images, the killer images, that's Milendro. And Milendro's a creative genius, and he came from the community. He came on board, he liked the project, and he started creating by himself, you know, just throwing things out there. And we were like, who the hell is this guy? You know, he's like doing all this amazing, even like he was creating stickers and stuff like that, that I was like, this is a really talented dude. And that's how he came on board. You know, it's like, that's why we decided to launch the creative contest, Richie, you know, because we know there's a lot of creative power out there. There's a lot of talented people, some of them with experience and some of them just new. Like you look at Luana, and Luana has been engaging with every creative contest we've done, and she learned how to do video, she learned how to do music. Now she's writing, now she's she's in a flow, and the most amazing things is we've seen her grow. She's grown with it, and she asks me a lot for tips or what tools can I use. Yo, freak, what did you how did you do this? And I'm always like explaining to her, and then she goes and does it and takes it one step higher. So I love that. I love that about our team and our community, bro. But here, can you tell us a little bit about Richie? Where do you come from, bro? Where what's your past? What did you graduate on, and how did you end up in Web3 and crypto and DEGA?
Yeah, sure. Let me know. Like, how can you hear me now? My connection is breaking up a little bit.
I'm hearing you well, bro.
Oh, okay. Something in my side, I think. So, well, anyways, then if you hear me well, I, as Rabbit was saying, I'm actually a telecommunication engineer, or well, electric here, and then specialized in telecommunications. And yeah, networking is a big part of that here, right? Networking and centralized networks are already part of it. Like he was saying, peer-to-peer networks are already there. The all the ownership and the economic incentive and the decentralized aspect of that is what me into Web3, but first into Bitcoin. And so you coming from Costa Rica, remittances are a big deal here. So people that either from here send to other countries to back to their families, or also people from Costa Rica that go to another country like United States or Europe and send money back to their families here. So remittances are always a big thing here. We're in the middle of Central America, so there's a lot of people who try staying there and emigrating from different places. So remittances, I think, is the main thing that mean to crypto. There is a problem there because you have decentralized gatekeepers like MoneyGram and all those, that Western Union and such that have had this lucrative business for a while, moving money from one country to the other and getting the fees. And in the era of sending already pictures and videos by message, by email, but by internet, how come we can send videos, but we can, or we can, but like a fee on top of that, right? So that's interesting. Because then so talking with Carlos, he told me about DEGA, so I'm really curious, or I got really curious about a lot of things that he's working on with, in terms from the technical perspective, right? The no password or no passphrase login. I think that is really interesting because for adoption, not everybody in the world is going to use all like the words that we're used to in crypto. That has to change, and I'm curious, interested in that solution. Also, the whole flexible blockchain provisioning, for me, from the technical perspective, I'm super interested in that. So he started talking to me about all these things, and I'm like, sure, for sure, that is interesting. I will contribute in any way I can to grow this community, and I find it really cool. Also, he's from Costa Rica, so coming from Costa Rica, I like to support the area. I think there is a big thing on the ethos of DEGA that moves me is the idea of contributing to emerging markets, and Costa Rica as one of them, right? Like to position Latin America, Costa Rica, and other emerging markets as places where technology can actually be created and not just consumers of technology that is created somewhere else. So that is kind of like a little bit of me, my vision of like a philosophy in general. And if we go like non-technical, I don't know. I'm into minimalism. I don't believe that much in the needs of capitalism and needs of like things. I'm like pro freedom in general, and that is why crypto and Web3 moved me. Freedom in general, I think is freedom, free speech, freedom, speech in means of payment, freedom of ownership of your digital assets, which are becoming more popular, more common nowadays. And I think that is like a little bit of my side. And if we go personal, I don't know. I like rock music. I like going to run, and I enjoy like meeting people from different countries and cultures, and that is why I also love communities so much. And that's my rant.
And one of the things I love about Richie is that he is highly, highly, highly creative, but incredibly structured. And it's he kind of like puts the order into my chaos, and we understand each other like in a great way. So I admire him a lot, and the way he does things. I actually need him in order to operate. When he's missing, I'm going crazy. So Richie, I don't know how you do it, how you pull out like that creative force, but that you can structure a process like it just comes to you. And I'm like, how the hell does he do that? Like for me, it's even, difficult to okay, we need to make a video. I know how to make a video. I've been making films and videos for 18 years. And then and it's still confusing. Okay, first this, first this, first this, and then I write it down, but then I lose where I wrote it. I lose the agenda, but I have it in the calendar, but I also lose the calendar. I forget to check on the calendar. It's a mess. But Richie makes it so fucking easy that it's kind of like, how the hell do you do it? And then he comes up, is like, oh, I had this idea. And of course it's a brilliant idea. So how do you pull it, bro? How do you do that? I don't know.
Thanks. No, I appreciate it. For me, this is like normal stuff. I don't know how you come up with all your like super creative like stuff. Also, I guess maybe there's this writer Agatha Christie. There's a movie from Agatha Christie called Murder in the Orient Express. I think if you've seen it,
Yeah,
it's really good. I
yeah.
like it. And the character, like main character, really I find it very familiar in that sense. Like there is this intro where he goes and he finds who is the person that murdered somebody, I think, or stole something. And they ask him, how did you know it was this person? And he says, well, I'm like in the scene of the crime. And he says, do you see that picture, that painting? Do you see something wrong with it? And he's like, what do you mean? Yeah, look, in the middle of the painting, there is something that is um, that is off. This is a spot that is not supposed to be here. And I find it just because I feel an itch when I see it. It's like it's there, and I cannot look the other way. It's just there. So he says, and then I start coming up with, why is this here? What is the more, and he starts with that itch. I think that for me is like that organization thing is a little bit of an itch. Sometimes when something is not organized, then I need to scratch that itch and organize it and like label it and come with the workflow and all that. Is like all the structure comes from, if it's not structured like that, I feel like the need to structure it. So that's kind of, I don't know how I am always. And
But
then the
I
creative
understand
side is
that.
just, yeah, it's like when I'm designing with you, I tell you it's this synesthesia kind of. I think people are just natural in some things, and like when you design with you, I choose like this, it feels wrong is you being a designer. You have, of course, experience, but also it comes with natural talent that you have this itch. You feel like it feels off. It's just like the feeling, the gut. I think is something that also we should look a little bit more as humans. We have this intuition is super strong, and if we follow our intuition, sometimes we know something like this is the right way, and that is something that we sometimes we overlook it. And I try to do that when organizing. Like, I don't know, first go by gut. Like, okay, how does it feel right for this process? What are the metrics? What are the things? And it just like comes out. And in the creative side, I think I like a lot art and all that, but I think that is just maybe learning from other people, because I started working with designers and with people like you, and I start learning from that and try to replicate and then to add my little flavor in there. So that's the two sides, I guess. The first one that comes natural, the other one that is maybe being learned right now, also working with creators.
Dude. And you said it. It's a feeling. For me, it's a feeling, and that's the way I approach everything. I start with the feelings. I know when I look at something, it either feels right or feels wrong. Or when I think we gotta do something, the first thing I do is go inside, not go outside, go inside. So Yeah, I understand. You called it. You said the other day synesthesia, or something like that. You said it. You said, I think it's synesthesia, and it's when you look at something, but you listen, but you also listen and taste it, or you hear a sound and you see the colors. You know, it's like when there's a mix of senses, and I get that, and that's how I am. You know, I look at a movie and I feel the movie. I look at a design and I feel the design, and that's how it is. Or when the rabbit comes, hey, we gotta work on this, and it's like I just close my eyes and start talking and use AI to put structure in it. And just so people, I'm gonna talk. I don't want to talk a lot about me, but my background, everyone, is in film. I started my career in film. I went to design school. I was always making videos since I was 5, and but I lost it somehow. Ended up in business school and doing my master's in project management, which I suck at project management, but I had my PMI and everything. But there, my teachers called me to produce a movie. They needed to know someone that they needed to have someone that knew about image, that knew about video, that knew about business, that knew about sales. And I was the only guy in the country that could do that. So they brought me in, and that first film became the first film ever to be sold to Hollywood studios. So partnered with Nicole Kidman's company. Nicole Kidman is a big actress, and then a producer, the producer of the Lego franchise, How to Train Your Dragon, partner with me, and that was my first film. So that opened a lot of doors in my life, and I ended up making films up until, I guess, 2015, and with studios, with networks, with everything, all the time as a creative producer, but it wasn't fulfilling, and that's when the tech world got me into it, and I learned how to create projects, how to create product, how to go into digital, how to go to market, all those strategies, digital strategies. And I got into Google's training program, Google Launchpad. I got into their leadership training program that they do for their CEOs and presidents and vice presidents. So I got trained by Google, which was awesome. And then we sold our biotech company, and we kept on the other companies. And I was always making, by the way, I was always making videos, commercial videos or music videos for big stars, big music stars, especially in Latin America. And that's what I enjoy the most, because that's when I could be most creative. But after this, Web3 came into my life, and I saw it, and it's like, this is what I was missing. This is what I really think how the world should be and how it should work. This is like us going tribal. You know, it's like, this is the tribe, the future of tribes, because that's what I was trying to build all the time. Tribes, tribes, tribes is my obsession. And when I talk about tribes, I mean, it's like, it's not community. When I talk about tribes, it's a place that we can all bring our value, and we all create value for each other. And, you know, tribal economy. So what I do will allow C-Stray to build something, or I only see B said in. So B said in comes in, and he puts his value, his talent, and his effort in here. He creates value for the rest, but he also takes value. So that's what Web3 brought into me. I came in through gaming and NFTs. I'm also a gamer. I've been gaming since Age of Empires first came out, and then Counter Strike was #1 in Colombia. So gaming was kind of like the door to this, and I understood and I saw it. So I started working with some NFT projects that some of them did well, some of them tanked in the bear market, but it gave me the experience and the knowledge, and the dreams that this was a possible world to build. So then came Carlos. And when Carlos started talking about what he wanted to do and what he was already doing, I was like, this guy is thinking the way it should be. This guy is building the world that we want. This guy has the power, the knowledge, the team, the background, and everything. And then I started meeting the rest of the team. And I met Richie, and I met Rabbit, and I met the professor, and I met Edu, and I met all of them. And I was like, fuck, this is the people I want to be spending time with and growing my brain and learning and going beyond, because this is okay, this is what I can put my talent into, but I'll see it explode. We're exponential. So if you combine everyone in this team, talent, experience, way of thinking, mindset, everything, you'll find an exponential team. And that's what I was looking for. I was like, okay, this is something I want to bet on. This is something I want to bet on. And we want to build a tribe around this. And the tribe will be exponential as well. So if everyone's bringing their talent, so you got Melandro, but you got Zeke, you got Cap, you got Sheridan, you got Star, you got all. I'm talking about the side of the community, and you got Joey, and you got Richie, and you got the Rabbit, and you got all. Dude, this shit is gonna explode. And all we got to do is do what we do best, and enjoy it, and fucking feel it. Oh.
From this side, what we have been talking about is the community side, but of course we have the technical area side that is a team that we interact with, but we don't lead them, organize them. So maybe we invite somebody and we discuss a little bit more about that area. But also,
yeah, we have to.
We have also the professor, right, who is around, and he's more working on partnerships and a little bit more of that development, that strategy exactly. He's jumped into some of these calls. Yeah.
And one of the things about, dude, if we're gonna talk about the technical, is one thing that surprises me is the speed and the quality at what they deliver. You know, is I've been seeing them, and it's like one thing after one thing after one thing after one thing. It's like, holy shit, these guys don't sleep. they're like, I don't know how Carlos is pushing that.
It's something like maybe Carlos can talk a little bit more about that in another one, right? I'm getting out of my knowledge here, but what I've heard from him, and also what I've seen, because I know him before he started DEGA, and he mentioned the other day in a space that an advantage that he has in comparison to other projects is that other projects, when they begin, they form the team, and from the technical side, he already had the team before forming DEGA. Actually, he had the team as his own company, I would say, kind of like his own group of developers that would take on projects from different platforms and different companies, like outsourced projects. So when getting into DEGA, he had a vision, he had an idea, and then he started executing it. But from the technical side, he already had the team, and that's the technical side that is behind most of the things that you see. And also, of course, in the future they'll be adding new people, but they have a strong, a strong foundation of developers there that have been collaborating for a while already.
Yeah, I know, and you can see it, you can feel it. It's like watching the Barcelona play. It's like tiki-taka. That's the way I see that team, and actually everyone in here. So yeah, for me, it's a culture. I think more than the culture here is you have a team that has no ego fighting, is more of a team that is actually fighting to deliver the best, and I never doubt my capacity, but sometimes I doubt this, like, oh shit, should I give it more, or did I pay too much attention to the rush, because I get emotional, and to get it out fast. And this is not the way it should. It happened yesterday with you, Richie. I was trying to get these things come out fast, and I resigned to some of the things that I do believe they should look awesome and fucking killer. And you came back and you reminded me, and you were like, dude, why is this? It's like, oh fuck, I rushed it. But there's no competition, there's no ego. There's, how do you say? It's like everyone is adding up to other person's value. And when you get into a lot of things and you want to grab too much, the rabbit comes, is like, yo, you're stretching yourself too thin and too far. Wait, you're gonna collapse. You gotta focus on this. And you're like, oh shit, yes, you're right. So everyone is adding to everyone, and I love that about this team. But that's the way I see
I'll
it.
share maybe two concepts that I found here in this team that are interesting. One of them is the what you're describing. I remember the rabbit calls it. Maybe if he's able to talk now, that would be cool. If not, that's okay. But he introduced this concept called the no asshole rule, and I kind of like it. The no asshole rule is when I'm telling Freak, hey, this maybe of course I pushed you to produce this content faster, but then if you don't, do this and that also are part of your things, then this is not freaky content, and then it is not just about delivering fast. Also, is about having it up to some level that you're used to. And this is, I'm not trying to be an asshole, I'm just trying to even help you. This is the no asshole rule. If there's something wrong, then I tell you straight up, no problem. It's not an attack, a personal attack. It is a constructive way of like, hey, how do we solve this problem? The attack is toward the problem, not towards the person, right?
Yeah, and I really love that, and especially coming from the media side, where everything is an ego battle. You got the director, you got the actors who are like fucking gods, and you got everyone. It's an ego fight all the way to get the product, to get a project made. And dude, I remember it's like I've been involved in some films with major stars, and I had one that had major stars as producers and major stars as actors, and then you had a major star director, and even like the photographer was a major star. And I'm not talking, when I talk about major stars, like they thought they were. Some of them were, but the other ones that were not, they thought they were. So it was hell, Richie. It was hell to drive that, because everyone was trying to prove it was bigger and better than the others. So it was really hard to coordinate. And when you come in here and you find a team that everyone's pushing towards the same goal. No one has to prove anything to anyone, because we already know what everyone is capable of and everyone was, doing before. And there's a level of maturity there that allows us to move, as you say, faster and better and stronger. So I don't know. I love it. And my thoughts always being is like, okay, what's after DEGA? How can I, like in life, how can you find or keep or stay with teams like that, working this way? Because it's really gratifying. And you don't know, life, when when you go into a project, you don't know if it's going to work, you don't know how big it's going to be. You only know what the people behind it are doing and how good they are. And that's my bet. That's why I'm here, because primarily one thing is the vision and where we're going and what we're trying to build, and the other one is the people I'm working with. Those are the two only things I can rely on and trust and bet on. The rest, the world, the conditions of humanity, uh, economic factors, war, all those things, we don't know what's gonna happen. But we got the people here that can make anything happen. So I love that. And that's why I'm sticking with DEGA.
Right on. And the other concept that also I found here really interesting is the flywheel. Do you want to explain about the flywheel? We flywheel everything.
Oh yeah, I call it the rabbit wheel. I call it the rabbit wheel, but it gives you like a base where you can stand and a place where you can go back when you're doing anything. So everything from projects, actions, or initiatives in DEGA use a flywheel. And the flywheel is really simple. All that it wants is to solve, what is this that we're doing? Who is it for? Why are we doing it? And what problem does it solve? And when you have those things clear, you jump onto who is this for? And when you have that pain complete, you know how you're gonna act. So every time, like we're gonna say, we just launched the elite squad, so why are we doing the elite squad? For who is it? Like, who's gonna be benefiting from the elite squad in DEGA? And why are we doing it? What problem does it solve for people and for us? not only for the project, but also for the people committing to it. And you share that, and everyone just goes like, oh, that's it. So all you need, okay, wait, the rabbit is applying to talk again. And when you have that flywheel, everything is clear. You know what to do, you know what your job is, you know what your responsibilities are, and you just go out and do it. And here's the owner and creator and, how do you say, the boss of the rabbit wheel.
Well,
The rabbit.
the funny thing is if you're familiar with products, like when you're doing a product, um, that wheel that I introduced to you is a combination of, a product story. Like when you're doing a product, it's like, um, there's almost like a language that you use when you're pitching your product that just like completely encapsulates what that product is and what it's for and who it's for and everything like that. And it helps when you have that solid, kind of like, um, solution statement. Um, Everything else kind of like just kind of like comes from that. So what I did is I took that product language and I took my experience in project management and my experience in, in running teams and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, I can actually make this product statement better and use it internally for an organization so that everything, everything that you do can like become this like organizational product, and you can just apply that absolutely everywhere. Um, and that is a blog post. I do want to share that kind of like with the world. And that is a blog post that I am going to do because we have been talking about, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of thought leadership inside of DEGA. And, our content doesn't really, our content talks about the project all the time. And it's like, yeah, but there's a lot of knowledge behind the scenes. It's like, I remember, I think the last like really, really good thought leadership piece that went out on the DEGA blog was, Richie's post about Kickstarter. Move over Kickstarter. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of thinking that people want to. A lot of there's an audience out there, people who want to learn about. Well, why are we doing these things, and what can be a better outcome for people. So it's like, Freak, you're posting all the time, but it's usually, you just you're posting your own content. And it's like, we need to take some of that thought leadership that you have and move it into, the DEGA domain. So it's like, people know that this type of thinking is kind of like what's behind driving DEGA. So yeah, that is that whole modified wheel. That is something that I want to post about one of these days. Just so that everybody, if it's useful for you, use it.
I was gonna say, like, people can adopt it and start using it in their daily lives and for everything you do, actually.
Yeah. And then that's the thing about, you hear us also talk about systems thinking here. And again, I can be a little academic about this stuff. So sorry about that. But, we've gotten to a place right now as a civilization where the old way of this kind of like linear yes no binary thinking really isn't working for us that well anymore. So back in the 40s we created this thing called systems thinking that got derailed for historical reasons that I won't really go into right now. But all the pain you feel and all the weird things that you feel are going on right now in the world is because we do not think systemically as a civilization. We think very linearly. So there's a big push, and you'll hear, if you listen to other blockchain leaders, like even from like Andreessen Horowitz's area, it's like you'll actually hear them start talking about. You can search for it. How important systems thinking is for decentralized organizations. It's not, and honestly, it's not just good for decentralized organizations. It's good for politics. It's good for farming. It's just, you can apply this type of it's almost like ecological thinking. It's almost like thinking that we're not, you've probably heard, we're all connected, and then you turn around and you do things that just don't. You act like you're not connected. But this type of thinking actually shows you how to work through, how doing something can have these unintentional effects in different parts of the quote unquote ecosystem. So when you think systemically, like we do at DEGA, it's like when we make one move in one area, we already know well ahead of time that we may have or someone else would have unintended consequences associated with their actions. We've already mapped that out in our minds, and we already know how to manage. We already know how to manage when we do one thing, how it might affect, like butterfly effect things like 10 steps down the line. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I live with a system thinker. My wife is also a system thinker from MIT. So
yeah. So I mean, that's you talk about the culture of DEGA. You talk about the team and the values and everything like that. We don't want to do something that is going to inadvertently hurt you. Like you look at all of these huge crypto projects that are just crashing and burning right now. Well, why are they crashing and burning? Because they're just taking the old linear thinking and trying to apply it to a decentralized situation. It doesn't work. Stop thinking that way. Start thinking systemically. Start thinking from a value-based center, not an extractive-based center. You hear us say this stuff all the time. It's like there's we have to stop depending on these like spiky things. Why does the market go crazy in crypto? Why is it so volatile? Well, because we're thinking about crypto and crypto trading and all that stuff that people like to do as a function of the old stock trading system and the old value-based system that was coming out of this spiky linear like way of thinking about how buying and selling things work. Well, guess what? Even what happened yesterday. You get out of game. Game theory was great when we were dealing with nukes and nations, but I'm sorry, between you and I as individuals, game theory is actually quite destructive of relationships between people and in tribes and communities. That kind of stuff really doesn't work anymore. It's a great model, but it's a great model for when there's existential risk of civilizational death with nuclear devices, not necessarily with walking down the street and dealing with your neighbor.
I love, like I'm writing and making notes for this all the time. Yeah. When you talk like a professor, like I'm doing a master's degree with you here, a PhD.
Oh boy.
In on the line. But we got Freaky Friday, so we have 5 minutes, guys. So we need to say bye and meet over in Discord, because we're gonna be having fun over there for the next couple hours. So I don't know. Are you gonna be there, Rabbit? Richie, are you guys gonna come to the Freaky Fridays?
Well, me, I come in and out based on the based on what I got going on. So I just sat down there's actually a huge traffic jam. Somebody went head on with somebody else in traffic. So it took me a little while to get back from dropping my kid off. So I'll be in and out as I usually am. I got to check with Carlos, check with all the other stuff going on in the project, and yeah. Richie, you gonna join?
Yeah. I'm going to play Smash Cards.
Yep, let's go play some Smash Cards and blow some heads off after.
If we play some Smash Card, I'll join.
Make teams.
Yes.
Smash Card, Freak, Richie, and the Rabbit versus anyone who dares challenge us.
Oh yes, let's do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I really like it. It's gonna be pure Brazilian funk over there. Get ready to fight the Rabbit and the Richie and the Freaking. I can't wait, bro.
Don't forget to if you're not on our Discord, please join us. If you're not following us on Twitter, please do. like our content, get it. It helps with our reach of the project. And take care, everybody.
You said it. You said it. I'm gonna leave you with "I Dream of Dega" by Corny G.
Ooh, I love this song.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I dream of